Going on, everyone? Sorry I'm late. I was eating crumpets. Unapologetically, I might even add. So, all right with that. So, I've been asking on Instagram. I've been asking on Patreon. Obviously, we've got the members in here dropping questions in here too. I'll try and get to as many of those as humanly possible. The chat is members only because it keeps the divs away. And that's all we want, isn't it? Nice, relaxing, Sunday evening. It's been a good week, I would say. Big good weekend. Didn't start great. United tried to bore the piss out of everyone with how poor we were, but then we went with an offside goal, and suddenly the world is all right. Paddock put on a really good performance yesterday, winning 3-0 away from home on an actual rugby league pitch. It still had the 10-metre markings on it and everything. And then the Scousers lose to Plymouth. So about as good as a weekend can be, I would say. About as good as a weekend could be. But Alex Belly says, I need to change my intro video. There's a lot of those. I mean, I've only just got round to sorting out the thumbnails. But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of those that we need to do it. Ross says the hat is back because the Scousers went out. There may be some truth in that. Dead Scrolling says, just as quality shows through, so does shit. Sancho was always bound to get found out. Yeah, he's been getting... I mean, Chelsea fans not happy with Jadon Sancho, but it's one of those, isn't it? And obviously, Marcus Rashford came on, did what, 20, 25 minutes? Some people talking about, oh, he looked really good. He's supposed to. He's not played in 3 months. It's the freshest he's probably been since making his debut. It's one of them, I guess, isn't it? Anything to beat United with it. You'll hear more about Rashford playing well than you will about Sancho not playing well. It doesn't really still make sense, really, how much he was shut out. I just think United ultimately... Look, when they're trying to rinse 8-year-old kids for 66 quid tickets, they're clearly skint. And I think that the way Marcus was dealt with had as much of a financial reward for the club reason behind it as it did Marcus's status and form. I think there was I don't know if it was equal parts, but there were certainly parts at play from both of those sides of things. I'm going to get into some of the questions on Instagram. Kedge says, please convince me Spurs won't have a new manager bounce next weekend. I don't think they'll sack him just yet. It don't look good for him, though. It does not look good for him at all. Scott says, do I think Ruben is the right man for Man United? Yeah. I mean... I don't, just like there's not an outstanding list of centre forwards you can go and get, I'm not convinced that there is an outstanding list of manager candidates that you should be going getting either. And I think ultimately any manager can work, not every manager, but any manager can work if you give them the tools that they require to go and deliver that job. And we've never really done that with a manager. Never. So, I think... if you back him, we will find out whether he's good enough or not. Now, does that mean that he's about to deliver us a dynasty of titles? 4, 5, 6 titles in 7 to 10 years? Probably not in the grand scheme of things. United are adrift at the moment, and it's going to take a lot of work just to work us back to where we were, to be competing again. Alex says Anthony's doing good for Betis. I mean, I've seen some clips of him shanking it over the bar. Hasn't he got 2 man of the matches in 2? Yeah. At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck how much people are doing when they leave Manchester United. There's nobody that's doing it at Manchester United. So I don't care. If they wanted to stay at Manchester United, they should have been good at Manchester United. That's the top and bottom of it as far as I'm concerned. Abhinav says, hopefully Marcus plays well like this and keeps his valuation up. Yep. PJ Trojan says, now that Rashford has gone, is it time to replace the Trinity statue with one of Marcus, Greenwood and Martial at the new stadium? Abhinav says, I watched a lot of old United games recently. The pace and physicality we showed in 2010 with a 37-year-old Giggs was instant. I think it means insane. Teams post-Fergie have been too slow and devoid of confidence. Abhinav says, Amrim needs time to build. That's how you build confidence. Notch says Anthony also started quite well for us. Could be shite in a month. Could be. Ian says still think Mainu in the left wing is the move. But he's not playing left wing, is he? He's playing in the 10. And ultimately, I don't necessarily think playing there for a couple of games proves anything. I think there's a lot to learn about what to do in that role. And he's had an up and down season. He had an up and down season playing in what people would presume is his position. Fundamentally, yeah, I think he's going to look good further up. Although I think the midfielders that we've got at the moment, it doesn't really suit any of them outside of Ugarte down to the ground. It doesn't necessarily suit Bruno. You could argue Bruno should be higher up. You could argue that he should play deeper. Ultimately, he's a bit of a tweener. And so's Mainu. And I think that maybe both of them would suit better playing with Ugarte as part of a 3. But he's not going to do that. So unless he's going to change his system, I don't think we're going to see that. Ross says, don't think talking about replacing a manager is an option right now. I think this season's a write-off. We can judge him next. Adam says, anyone who leaves United are elevated. Anthony man of the match in the first game and second game. It was awful first games. Yes, he scored in the second, but they lost. They'll do the same with Rashford lightly. I agree. Akash says, watch Rodgers and Ramsey's enthusiasm to learn from Rashford speaks volumes. Villa's kids are levels above ours, sadly. I'm not sure about that, but I guess we will see with a little bit of time. Let's get back into the YouTube one. James says, just poke fun at the Scousers. Well, they're not winning the treble anymore, are they? Would I beat Boovy in a fight? Says Ryan Bannister. Yes is the short answer. A slightly longer answer would be, outside of people with combat sport experience, there isn't a single YouTuber out there that I would be bothered about fighting. I mean, someone like True Geordie is fucking enormous, and depending on which combat sport it was, could be problematic. I think Rance boxes, so if it was a straight boxing match, he would have the advantage. But if it was just some random ass fucking YouTuber, unless they've got combat sport experience, it's not being braggadocious or arrogant or anything. It's literally like, I haven't trained for years, but I've still got more experience than probably 99% of fucking YouTube, especially in the football realm. In the MMA sphere, that'd be fucking completely different, wouldn't it? But yeah, I could fight fucking Boovy while texting. It wouldn't be fucking it would be so much of a one-sided fucking beatdown that people would think he would have been paid off. So, no, not interested in that. Do I see that Jack Grealish is on the chopping block at City worth a bid? I think he might be. How much running do I reckon we'll have in the summer? No idea, mate. Ross says, seen Ethan Galbraith put in a good performance against City for Leyton Orient and Ethan Laird doing bits for Birmingham, scoring against the Geordies. I always liked both of those players, actually. I thought Laird always had the higher ceiling. He'd be ideal in this system right now on right wing back, I think. Alex says, I think the formation should be 3-4-3, not 3-4-2-1, because 2 inside wingers to support a centre forward would be better. Stephen Harris says, Joe Smith would take you down. Don't know if he would. He's tall, Joe. Fucking problem. He's been doing jiu-jitsu. I think he went to 2 classes. Don't know if that counts. What makes Band of Brothers, in my opinion, the best war series? I think it's the fact that it follows them from... We don't see them prior to training, obviously. We see them in training and then right the way through to the end of the war. And I think it's the pacing of it. I think it's the stories that they chose to tell in those 10 episodes. I think it's the quality of acting and cast and direction. It's Steven Spielberg, for fuck's sake. And then I think the way they kind of reveal the actual characters at the end. I mean, you kind of get the impression it's Dick Winters all the way through. But then it's when they pull the names up from, which I think is in the final episode. It's just a fucking sensational story. It's just a sensational story that is really, really well told, and no one else has done it to that kind of level. Abhinav says, do I think Mainu's having second syndrome season? Maybe he'll be mint next season. Yeah, maybe he's also just dealing with a fucking injury. Adam says, Laird always had it, just couldn't stay fit. Yeah, his fitness was an issue, for sure. Danny Sunder says, next time you go to Southampton, like I go to Southampton a lot. I couldn't tell you the last time I was in Southampton, probably about 6-7 years ago. Make sure to check out Five Rivers. They do really good food. Only just getting to Sopranos, seen it. Nah, I've not really seen The Sopranos, to be honest. So I don't think I'm going to commit to doing it. So no. How do I find time to gym alongside family and work? That's the interesting part, is that you don't find balance and time to do that. You just fucking overcommit to one and then have to scramble around and do the others afterwards. Dan says, I think the fact that Band of Brothers is true makes it incredible. Yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it. Anton says, I hope that Marcus does good in Villa. Don't have any bad feelings. McTominay's great at Napoli, but important we give chance to players that want to fight for us. Yeah, I agree on that. Michael says, I was dumped 3 weeks ago. I'm short on confidence. Need advice on how to navigate. Mate, I am not the guy that you want to come to for dating advice. I'll tell you to suck it up, for starters. No pause. And I don't know what the fuck you kids do nowadays with your fucking apps and that. Like, I've been with my wife we are 3 months short of 18 years. I don't fucking know. Do you understand how little game I would have if I had to go and fucking go on a date or try and pull nowadays? How little game I would have. I got no fucking interest outside of football and the gym and war films. Do you understand how fucking shit my game would be? It'd literally be like trying to fucking talk about tactics or something. Forget about it. Listen, there's geezers out there that you can ask for fucking relationship advice or that sort of advice. I'm probably not that guy. Got dumped 3 weeks ago. It's probably going to fucking suck for a bit. Life's meant to suck at times. It's not meant to be a fucking rainbow where everything's fucking great. It goes up and down. Dylan says, current gym split. Last week I started a High Rocks prep. I'll read it out. So I don't do a split. I've never really done like a split. So Monday is 5k run. So tomorrow, 5k run. Squats, split squats, Romanian deadlifts, and then sled push, farmer's carry, wall balls, 100 calories on the assault bike. That's Monday. Tuesday, 5k run. Tuesday, we're doing fucking arms and back and chest and getting hench. So that's bench press, shoulder press, pull-ups, pull-downs, lateral raise, curls, crossovers, barbell rows, and then 1,000 meters on the rower. Wednesday is a full simulation of a High Rocks. So 600 meter run, 50 cals on the assault bike, 600 meter run, 100 wall balls, 600 meter run, 50 cals on the rower, 600 meter run, 100 meters of burpees, 600 meter run, a weighted lunge, 600 meter run, 100 dumbbell snatches, 600 meter run, farmer's carry, 600 meter run, 1,000 meters on a ski erg, 600 meter run, sled push, and a 200 meter sprint. So that's after a 5k run warm up. So that's Wednesday. Thursday, 5k run, and the same thing that we do on Tuesday, getting massive, followed by 1,000 meters on the ski erg. Friday is deadlifts, power cleans, snatches, sled push, lunges, ski erg after a 5k run. Saturday's a 5k run, followed by 10 100 meter sprints, and then wall ball, snatches, farmer's carry, row and assault bike. And Sunday is either a 10 to 12k run, a weighted ruck march, or 20k on a bike, something like that. So I'm doing that for 4 weeks, and then we're going to taper it down a little bit. 9th of March, I'm doing a hybrid games. It's like a High Rocks. So it's not really a split. It's just fucking pain every single day. There's lots of running. Basically doing that for 4 weeks. Any thoughts on Kane's release clause? I'm not familiar with Kane's release clause. Notch says I've only been at Southampton once. James says, what's first? Amorim wins the Prem or Aliens get confirmed on Earth? I think they confirmed Aliens back in 2020. We're just waiting for the actual photos, I think, now. Ross says, same with the Langer, no hard feelings. He's doing really well at Forest. Alex says, do I watch Escape to Victory in the gym to mix it together? No. Be a good idea, though. Adam says, on a scale of Mazraoui to Alexis Sanchez, how worth of a watch is Landman? Fucking... Right. Here's the truth. Landman is the story of like a middle-sized backyard oil pump station manager. Sounds mega, right? It should not be anywhere near as entertaining as it is, and it's phenomenal. Can't explain to you why it is. You're just going to have to watch it, and if you get to the end of episode 1 and go, that's not for me, okay, sound. But every single person that I've said go watch it has gone and watched it and just looked at episode 1 and gone, fuck me, get me into episode 2. Every single person, without fail. There's not one single person come back to me and gone, nah, I didn't like it. So just go watch it. Alex says, whoever it was that got dumped, don't try and get her back. It's never the same. Move on and give yourself time and get back out there. PJ Trojan says, I'm on season 4 of Yellowstone, but still no Billy Bob. No, he's in the... He's not in Yellowstone. He's in the prequel, 1883 of Yellowstone. Yeah, he's not actually in Yellowstone itself. Ian says, could any other club besides Madrid have survived what the Glazers have done to United? Have United survived them? We're on fucking live support with them. Dan says, Landman is sensational. I finish every episode saying that was amazing and I have no clue why. Yeah, it's that. The thing I miss most from childhood, other than us winning games, how free life was. Like, I can't understand how fucking expensive it is being alive. It's fucking insane. I used to go out, it feels like, before I was working, I used to be able to go out, this is going to sound really old now, I used to go out on like 20 quid. And have like a full 6 or 7 hours out. I can get a fucking pizza for that nowadays. It's mental. Do I reckon Sheridan will make his shows a shared universe with crossovers, or will he stay from that? I think he'll stay away from that. Especially as the fact that probably about a good 30% of his cast are in everything he's done. That'd make it really awkward. Do I reckon it's worth going to Villa Park to see Rashford now he's in Brum? No. Although Villa Park's a great stadium. But no. What's in a worse state, Manchester United or Kanye West? Kanye's gone off the deep end again, hasn't he? Kota says, how is a day in the life of you? Really interested in how you implement the changes in habits. What does a day in the life for me look like? Fucking boring. Genuinely. Not interesting. I don't do anywhere near as much interesting shit. I don't. I like to. And I try and maximise the time that I get to go do that. And I'm fortunate enough that, you know, I've managed to carve out a job and a career where I can fuck off and go do some shit in the woods during the week. A lot of weeks. But it's not every week. You know, I'd love it to be every single week. But it ain't. I have to do meetings. And I have to do grown-up shit. You know, and I do the school run. A lot. Like, I take Blake to school basically every single day. There might be once a week Janine takes her. I get her probably once or twice a week. Janine gets her a couple of times a week and her parents get her sometimes. Like, far too much of my fucking week is revolving around picking up and dropping off Blake. Like, you know, it's fucking boring. I spend a couple of hours in the fucking gym every single day. I spend more time than I would like to cooking fucking chicken every single day. I'm not out here riding jet skis and doing madness as much as I wish I was. Yeah, and then making content, and a lot of it fucking writing content. Writing content and then not being happy with what's written and rewriting it. Do you want to see a day in the life of that? It's me sitting here doing this. It's not interesting. It fucking isn't. Yeah, it's just. I mean, there's a lot of questions on the weight loss, right? I'll touch on that a little bit. So there's a video coming out called, the title of it is "I lost £100," and it's called "I lost £100" because I lost £100 in weight. That's from the Peaksty, when we hit the highest mountaintop that we got to. From summer, I lost about £70, which is like 5 stone. But it's £100 from the top. Now, I'll give you a bit of an insight. That video, some people will click onto that video expecting like a Rocky montage and a diet and like my training split. Loads of people are going to be asking for that, or wanting that, or expecting that when they click on that video. When I tell you that that video is a mental health video, because that's really how I lost £100. Loads of people want to put it down to all sorts. And look, yes, I did a video saying I quit Red Bull and I lost £40. That is the truth. It's not necessarily the entire truth, but it is the truth. That happened, and it happened in that sequence. But this entire weight loss thing happened over 4 years. And it's been 4 years of, for those who've been following for that length of time, it's been getting the operation on my calves, having physio, making mistakes. I did so much hiking that I give myself plantar fasciitis. I've pulled my calf more fucking times to the point where it makes Luke Shaw look fucking resilient. Like, there's been loads of mistakes, loads of fuck ups, and it's been so much longer. Like, the phrase that I'm using on there is like, you guys are watching. The weight loss is a very visual, very obvious kind of consequence of the work that's been going on. But you guys are watching like the last lap of a race that you didn't know I was running for 10 laps. Do you know what I mean? Like, so writing that content and trying to explain what's happened in the sequence that it's happened, whilst making it an entertaining story and not just a boring vlog. And getting people to understand like the length of time and the things that happened has been difficult. But yeah, that's one of the things that I've been writing and working on at the moment. Darius says, how underrated was the 06-07 season and the impact of Carrick joining us? This is where Michael Carrick is fundamentally, completely underrated. I've said on record that I would rather have Carrick in my team over someone like a Gerrard. And people were like, oh, I think fucking Carrick's better than Gerrard. Not necessarily. But I think he's a better player in a team than Steven Gerrard. I think as an individual player-by-player basis, I think Gerrard had a lot of very, very good qualities. I also don't think he was a great team player. Now, people will point to some of his highlights and go, yeah, but look at this that he did. Well, if you point to highlights, you have to point to lowlights, and you also have to point to the average. And the facts prove you basically had an England midfield that neglected to include Michael Carrick in 2008 that failed to qualify. You had 10 English players starting a Champions League final in 2008, and in 2008 England failed to qualify for a European Championship. How does that compute? Well, one of the reasons that computes is because you didn't pick the best team. You picked what you thought was the best players, and they picked the best players by trying to shoehorn Lampard, Gerrard and Scholes into a midfield, when actually Paul Scholes, Michael Carrick and Owen Hargreaves, which was an English midfield, were the champions of Europe and the champions of England, because they fulfilled 3 different roles in a midfield 3. Sometimes the best players do not make the best teams. The best teams are the people that can work together to create the best outcomes. And that's what England have always seemed to lack. They've not picked the best teams. They've gone with the best players and not necessarily the best system. Stephen says, who in the paddock squad would fare best in line dancing at Boots and Bourbon? Someone like Vic, probably. Dan said, should Ollie get more respect tactically based on what other managers have moved towards now? Yes. Stephen says, the calf has been pulled more than I have on Tinder. Alex says, not going to lie, I'm with you. My life is work, going to the gym, kids and wife, United and paddock, that's it. Yeah, it's boring. But it is what it is. You've got to do what you've got to do. Akash says, you can say the same for Scholes too. Better team player than Slippy G. Notch says that was also because England's setup was inflexible, insisting on 4-4-2 and that. Stephen Harris says, Carrick overrated, same with Beckham, Scholes, Ferguson, Giggs, etc. Miracle, we won everything. Yeah, you're right. Adam says, seen you do this before, but name the people from the, is there anyone left in Britain who does not think United should be in the Cup? Caprice, Simon Weston, David Mellor. I want to say Jerry Adams. I don't think that's right. He's just in my head because it was the 90s. I've got 4 there, haven't I think. George Harrison, someone like that. How close am I getting here with these? It was fucking ridiculous. I still see to this day pricks like Piers Morgan going, the FA Cup's not been the same since Manchester United pulled out. Listen, you absolute professional level grade A turbo fucking bellend. Manchester United did not pull out of the FA Cup. Manchester United were told by the FA and the government that they couldn't go into the FA Cup because we had to be seen to support the World Club Championship that FIFA were putting on because England was trying to win the 2006 World Cup bid. This is public fucking knowledge, and people choose to ignore that and think that United just decided not to go in the FA Cup. This was at a time, by the way, as well, that they told us we couldn't play a youth team in the FA Cup because we went, okay, we'll play like Michael Clegg and all the rest of it. We'll take a squad to Brazil, they'll feature in that, and then we'll play like whoever we've got left. And they went, you can't fucking do that. It's a disrespect to the fucking cup. And then we was like, well, can you give us a fucking later tie? No. They just fucked us, completely fucked us with it. It was an absolute fucking scandal. Shouldn't have never been allowed. Ian Botham, good shout. Abhinav says, Chelsea fans turning on Sancho as if he was actually turning it on initially. Guy's been scared since day one. Adam says, Ian Botham, Tony Blair, Trevor Brooking, Barry Norman, Lisa Potts. Who's that? Francis Lawrence, Sharon Davies, Mark Gardner, Tamara Beckwith, Darren Day, Nick Hancock. Yeah. Alex says, I recently watched the Becks documentary on Netflix. My wife couldn't believe the abuse he got after the World Cup, but she will never know how good a player he was, not just for us. The documentary doesn't even explain it, in my opinion, at all. Steven says, had a fortnight in Brazil, came back, hadn't lost any ground in the league. Akash says, they're waking up to the truth, payback for Mount. Oh, it's Chelsea fans. Oh, phone's turned itself. Let's get back on there. I'm going to go on to Patreon ones in a second as well. The rise of paddle across the country. It is extremely popular. I don't necessarily understand it. I've never had a go of it myself. But yeah, it's incredibly popular. Incredibly popular. Who've got winning, Chiefs or Eagles? I know nothing about either teams. I haven't watched a single bit of this season, so whoever, and good luck to whoever. Love to hear a complete breakdown of your diet and workouts. Well, I've given the workout, and to be fair, the workout that I was doing prior to that wasn't much different. It was more Stairmaster than running. I've switched out the Stairmaster for running, trying to do 5k a day. I did get a little calf pull last weekend, so I'm just trying to manage that a little bit. Not a major one. I ran on it twice, and it hasn't gone since, so it's only a minor one. It was only when I went to the physio and he's like, there's a bit of a bruise on the calf. In terms of the diet, I have posted about this a few times. When I was losing most of the weight, it was Caesar salad with pre-cooked chicken for lunch. It was 360 grams of chicken with rice for tea. And the only thing that's changed with that recently, because I've been trying to hit way more calories, because I was getting a bit lightheaded and stuff, I took it too far. Clearly it worked, but I did take it a little bit too far. I'm trying to find a sweet spot where it's still a little bit under my maintenance because I still got a little bit of chunk to go, but I want it to be something I can kind of exist at without getting lightheaded and like completely fucking falling down a plug hole. So it's still the same. I'm still having the same chickens, the Cajuns, scallops from Tesco, and 100 grams of rice. Still a Caesar salad for lunch. Sometimes switched out for something else, but it's around about 500-600 calories for lunch. But then I've added protein shakes and porridge for breakfast to take it up to about 1,800-1,900 calories, which is, sustainable, I think. Is Ed's coming back? Ash texts me every now and then and says, let's do an episode. And I say, okay. And then we never do. So, go my Ash. What's my opinion on Trump winning the election? Good news or bad? I don't think you had a great choice out of the two, to be honest. I'm not sure Biden knows his name. I'm not sure Trump's out for anybody else except for him and his cronies. I think there's an illusion of democracy both in the UK and in America. But I certainly don't know a better system. It just feels fucking broken. I like the idea of terms, maximum terms. Like, obviously, there's a maximum term for a president. Why is it not a maximum term for MPs? How can you be a fucking MP that's never had a job and just been an MP for your entire fucking life? And your wife's also an MP. How does that make fucking sense? Yeah, I think they should be termed, and the same with like senators and shit in America. I don't. You shouldn't be a career politician. They should almost treat it like your 4-year jury duty sort of affair. You take people from industry and whatever, and they go into that. But yeah, politics is fucked. Would I ever host a fitness event? You don't need me doing that. Are we playing at a slow tempo due to fitness, meaning we fade quicker? I don't think so. Gaz says, I think bringing in Amorim in November was good. He gets a free hit before summer with this squad. Am I alone? I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people do believe that. But I think, I can't remember what video I did this on the other day, where I was saying, like, it can't go too far. He can't, like, lose every game and then just be like, right, let's go come summer, because a lot of players will be over with him. A lot of fans will be over with him. So there still has to be a level of competitiveness. And we have to look like we can go and win games and play under him still. There has to be a level of progression. Yeah, it's one of them, I think, innit? Notch says, how can, e.g. John Bolton, I don't know who that is, be around for decades, but the president itself can't? Yeah, I don't get that. Alex says, going gym Monday to Thursday morning around 4:30 a.m. as it's quiet, so social anxiety is nil. Monday it's cardio, Tuesday and Wednesday it's HIIT. Thursday I do resistance, 3-day weekend calorie counting. Calorie counting is the number one impactful thing, in my opinion. And not it's being honest with what you're doing as well, because I used to track my calories in MyFitnessPal, even when I was fucking 70 pound heavier. But you lie to yourself. Like, I would put 2 Red Bull down, tracked them, but I was having 8. So then you're like, well, you're not really tracking, are you? You're kind of doing a half-assed fucking job. I think when you get honest with yourself, you see it. Like, my weight's fluctuated loads since December. It's gone up and down. It's really interesting because it's going up and down fucking rapidly. Like 2-3 pound a day up, 2-3 pound a day down. Now that's water and glycogen and carbs in my system that are holding water or releasing water. It's not physically possible. Like, my weight has gone up like 10-15 fucking pound. You're talking like 50,000 extra calories or some shit like that to do something like that. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. Like 50,000 extra calories. It's not fucking, I have not consumed that much. And then also haven't chopped that out of my fucking diet when it all falls off again. Like, your body holds loads of fucking water. I weigh in after a piss every single morning, and then I've got like a baseline of what's going on, and you can see the fluctuations throughout a week. I can imagine, like, loads of people say, oh, don't weigh in that often, just weigh in once a week. But what if you weigh in after a particular heavy weight session, and your body's held onto loads of water because you smashed the fucking weights yesterday and you're a little bit sore, and then actually you've probably lost 5 pounds, but you've added loads of fucking water. Why would you just fucking gamble and do it once a week? Just do it every fucking day. It's not hard. I have a smart scale from Garmin, which links up to my Garmin watch, but also the Connect app that I have. So you don't have to do anything. I don't have to write anything down. I ain't got a notepad that I'm fucking taking down to weigh in with me. I wake up, I have a piss, because obviously it's regulating what's going on with water. I step on a scale, and I go about my fucking day. It takes 4 seconds, and then I've logged it for the day. Job's a good one. And that's obviously connected to like Apple Health on my phone and all the rest of that sort of stuff. It's very fucking easy to keep a track of. And then all those things talk together. So my Whoop is connected with that. It talks to that and all the sort of shit like that. It's easy. Have I moved on from the Whoop? No. Use the Whoop every day. I do my workouts in my Whoop, whether it's cardio or strength. I track my sleep and everything in the Whoop. I just weigh in using a Garmin scale. When I'm doing my runs, I use both. I have the Garmin because it has Pace Pro, and obviously it has a screen, so you can see how fast you're going, you can see your heart rate. Can't do that on the Whoop. It's just there to track and not, distract. How's Uncle Webby? Not seen him on the brew in a while. I haven't spoken to him for a while myself either. He's not been around when I've gone to the match either, as I've not seen him. But we'll find out. I'm sure we'll have him on again soon. Have I done much lymphatic drainage? I have done precisely 0 lymphatic drainage. Who do I want in the next round of the FA Cup? I haven't seen the full list of qualifiers, to be honest, so I couldn't answer that. I'll just check if there's any more on that. Why do I hate Amorim? Where's that fucking come from? The non-league system and the cost and responsibility of running a youth team. What's the question there? Youth teams generally cover themselves through the subs, to be honest. So there's not necessarily too much cost in it. Facility costs are high everywhere. I mean, I don't know if that's Manchester or across the country, to be honest, but it's a fucking problem across all over the place. When are the grass kits dropping? They're not, is the short answer. So you might have seen this season we've got 4 different goalkeeper kits with paddock. We have a grey one. We have like a forest green one with like crosses on it. And then we have an all grass one. Now we were doing some experimentation into that because I get the opportunity to fuck about and experiment, right? So I like to do this. I am interested in performance science, right? I personally, in my experience from coaching and fucking about in training, when a goalkeeper is wearing an luminous colour, I personally think it is advantage striker, right? As you're trying to chunk information, as you're approaching a goal, right? If you're trying to chunk information, which is what happens when the speed of play is what it is. You go through 1v1 with a goalkeeper. You broke through the defensive line. You need several pieces of information which you're trying to collect very fast. One is, where's the defender and is he a threat to me? One is, where's the ball? What's the spin of the ball? What's the height of the ball? What's the pace of me versus the ball? The trajectory and fucking azimuth of all that sort of stuff going on. Now, obviously, experience and repetitions is where you get familiar with that. I know when the ball's bouncing like this, I can hit it with my laces and it's going to go that way. I know I might have to put a bit more top spin on it, back spin on it, side spin on it, whatever it's going to be. You are chunking the information by seeing the pattern that the ball is making, how it's dropping, your speed, the weather conditions. It all goes into like an algorithm in your brain, right? The very best players, they're able to chunk that information better than you or I. They're also able to better direct what happens once it hits their foot, hence why they're playing professional football and me and you aren't. But the other information that's coming into that is, where's the goal? And where's the goalkeeper? Now, I personally think when the goalkeeper is wearing fucking a luminous pink or orange or blue or yellow, I think you've done half of his job for him. So the reason that Stretford Paddock at the moment are wearing grey goalkeeper kits and grass goalkeeper kits, it's literally like it's got a fucking grass pattern on it, is to fucking hide the goalkeeper. Why? Well, we're trying to conduct an experiment here to see whether or not there is a correlation between the goalkeeper being a little bit harder to see and the saves that they're able to make. Now, there's probably not going to be enough data from one goalkeeper and one team. You probably need several teams, several goalkeepers to be able to make this a thing, but that's what we're doing. So that's what we're doing. So when will they be available for purchase? They won't, unless we sell the actual ones that we've been using this year. But probably won't, because we're not going to put them into production. Let me go and have a look at Patreon and see what's being said over on the Patreon. Do I think Sir Alex was ahead of his time with the player psychology and man management, sports science? Absolutely. Where's my thingy going? Dash says, is it just me, or do I see a correlation between our weakness in attack and defence? Our attack press isn't great most of the time, and our playing out from the back. So they probably both look decent in training, playing against each other. When they come against a team who excels, we struggle. Yes and no. I don't think we're that bad playing out, in all honesty. I think we could be better, but we're not bad. The attack is bad. And I definitely think there's something in terms of, like, imagine back in the day when it was Rio and Vidic going up against Ronaldo and Rooney. Those training session battles would have been fucking biblical, man. They're clearly not getting that. The iron sharpens iron. Yes, there's absolutely something in that, isn't there? Why do our players have extremely bad drops of confidence like Højlund and Xerxes? I feel like they're not this bad and something is off. I think we'll never understand the pressure of playing for Manchester United and the media scrutiny and attention that comes with that. Cameron says, curious how Stretford Paddock runs on the younger side of the club. I work at the club in California called Legends FC. We implement play, practice, play. I don't know what that is, sorry. And I personally found some pros and cons of it. What do you guys do? Pros, a lot more touches and game scenarios for players, no lines, so everyone is typically playing and implementing their skills and ideas. Keeps it fast. I passed work with the youngest ages 6 to 10. They are more engaged in sessions. Cons, I think they are lacking some more technical fundamentals, at least the younger age groups, as well as sometimes end game moments. It's easier to see where the emphasis of tactics at times nowhere to be found. I do not tactics should be semi-limited, but I do believe in general IQ. You're talking about 6 to 10-year-olds and tactics. I would say forget tactics. Tactics are for when you need to win games, and 6 and 10-year-olds don't need to win games. They need to fall in love with football, first and foremost. Right now, the junior teams that we've taken on, we've only taken on successful junior teams that wanted to come to the club, and they came with managers and assistants already in situ, and I have just let them do what they do. You're already successful without us. Now you just are being successful wearing a Stretford Paddock kit, and they are being successful, and the kids are really passionate. We've had our under-12s reach a final. The under-16s are in a semi-final. We have an under-16 playing as under-18s, so playing 2 years up. They're fucking top of the league doing bits. Our under-16s are top of the league doing bits. Our reserve side, I think, has just come off being top of the league. there's a brilliant vibe around the club at the moment. We've got under-16s starting games for the first team. We had that happen yesterday for the first time. We had the youngest, possibly the youngest ever player we will have for the first team because it was 16 years and 1 day. I don't know if it's possible to have someone, because you have to register them before they play. I don't know if it'll be possible for us to register a player and him play on his birthday. So that might be a record that never gets broken. A record that we had yesterday with a player coming off the bench. But what I would say is, if you're coaching 6 to 10-year-olds, your job is to make them fall in love with football, to give them the confidence and flair to take people on. When we implement the soccer school stuff, which is when we will start taking kids that have never played football anywhere else, and those are the kids that we will put in like our philosophy into, and that's when I will get involved with what the coaches deliver from those age groups, because that will be our first contact with them and their first contact with football. That might be happening from next season. It was something we tried to start last month, but I'm not sure where we're up to with that. Once we do implement that, one of the things that I'll be asking for is lots and lots and lots of 3v3. Because it gives lots of players to, like, you play fucking 10-11 aside at 7. There'll be players that just don't see the ball. There's no point bringing them. You're going to get those players as much time as possible on the ball. And it's your job to develop the technical ability of them. So if you're saying that they're lacking in a bit of technical ability, you've got to come up with games where they could, that, you know, today we're moving the ball from this cone, this line to this line, this goal to this goal, and we're only going to roll it under our foot. And we're only going to use our left foot. And then we're only going to use our right foot. And then this one we're going to hop backwards and we're going to drag it. And then this one we're going to make little V's with our right foot, and then little V's with our left foot, little V's with our right foot, little V's with our left foot. This one we're going to pass it, but we have to pass it with 2 touches, one to kill it, one to pass it. Okay, great. This one we're going to pass it, but we have to pass it with 1 touch. This one we're going to pass it, and then we're going to go and fucking stand in a box over there. Like, those technical details you develop through games, and you develop them through practices that get as many of those kids' touches on the ball as possible. That's your job. When it's 6 to 10, tactics are 5 or 6 years away. They're irrelevant. You shouldn't care about winning games. You shouldn't care about score lines. You should care about, are my players getting better technically? And are they enjoying it? And are they fucking bouncing when they come to training? And if they are, then you're doing your job. And any club that you're at that wants to see your under fucking 10s and 9s and 8s and all that lot winning has got their priorities wrong. They have to be in love with the game. Because people that are in love with the game will go further than those that are just there to win. Right? You fall in love with the game and the winning comes at the end. Later. Way later. Here's the thing. 0.0001% of those kids will go on and have professional careers. But 100% of those kids have got the opportunity to turn into really fucking great members of society by learning about teamwork and hard work and creating friendship groups and, you know, being part of a community that goes on beyond them. 100% of those kids can do that. It's less than fucking 1% of 1% are going to go on and be professional. So who gives a fuck if they win? Nobody cares. Make awesome kids. Make awesome kids that love the fucking game, because those are the kids that are going to go watch the matches. Those are the kids that are going to go and do fucking whatever. You know what I mean? That's what you want. You want kids that are going to love the fucking game. The technical detail and things like that. Yeah, you want to develop game IQ in them, but that comes 12, 13, 14, 15 onwards. There shouldn't really be tactics until, fucking hell, I could say 16, but that might be a touch late. 15, really. Maybe your under 15s, under 16s have to start maybe understanding tactics a little bit. But surface level stuff. Yeah, if you've got players that are just fucking shooting from inside your own half all the time, you might want to have a chat with them about decision making there. But what tactic? Like, you're not fucking Jose Mourinho, mate, and this ain't the European Cup final. Make them enjoy the fucking game. That's what you want. You want kids that love the fucking game, and those kids, if they love the fucking game, will go and do better anyway than the kids who've been fucking drilled into, this is my fucking job. Now, the kids that are fucking passionate about it and are going to just absolutely bounce around the place will be so much more likely to fucking win. Because, again, yeah, we're talking about confidence of players. That's how you have confident kids. There's kids that fucking love it. Kids that have had good technical grounding, that have played loads and loads of games, had loads of ball rolling time, had loads of touches. Not the kids that have been fucking schooled in tactics from 6-year-old. Fucking hell. What boring Michael Owen fucking kids are you trying to raise? You know what I mean? More flair. More flair. Fuck the academy systems. Fuck them off completely. And just find fucking kids with flair. Kids that they want to drop a fucking shoulder and nutmeg you and fucking take the ball back on the other side of you. That's what you want. Confident fucking kids. Give me that all day long. John says, is there an intelligence issue with this group of players? Amrim looks frustrated as fuck. The way I look at my 2-year-old when she continues to throw shit down the stairs. Maybe it's not an intelligence issue. It might be a hard work issue. Because I think he's fucking pulling his hair out with some of the lack of work going on. Aka says, have you bought any United merch this season? Some of the merch is far better than it used to be. I bought the white away shirt with the intention of having the sponsor taken off it and then Sharp put on it, which I've not done. So I've got a 2XL fucking shirt that I haven't even opened yet, which now will not fit me. So I don't know what to do with that. I'm going to just fucking throw it away. Shay says, do I think Saudi Arabia and others similar will succeed in their long-term plans of trying to change their economic dependence on oil and overall public image with what they're doing in football, most notably Project Neon thing for the World Cup? Or is Saudi Arabia just the latest nation to try and attract mainstream acceptance by throwing money at it without any real strategy behind it? I believe they'll be successful because Las Vegas was literally some mob fucking getaway in the desert where there was nothing, and they created this entire economy where now, you know, concerts, tours, you know, United have been there every fucking time we go to America. Recently we were in Vegas. Title fights became that they had to happen in Vegas, and they took it out of Madison Square Garden. That used to be the spot. Now it's Vegas. Now it's the MGM. Can Saudi Arabia do that? You fucking better believe they can do that. Yeah, they absolutely can. Will they successfully transition away from oil? I'm not sure about that. But I absolutely believe that they will buy the sports to make sure that people are going over there for tourism. Whether or not that sticks to a level where it becomes the new Las Vegas, but I believe they will definitely be buying lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of sports for sure. Akash says, what really irritates me about United is when we try and develop a passing triangle, it's heavy and bouncy as fuck. Well, the clues are in our rondos. Our rondos are fucking painful watching. Yeah, painful watching. Did I dive into any of the United and Stone Roses merch? I got myself a scarf. Yeah, I do this because I'm a fucking idiot. I sometimes get stuff delivered to work, and I sometimes get stuff delivered to my house, and sometimes I forget. And I've bought stuff before, got it delivered to home, or got it delivered to work, but then also ordered it again and got it delivered to the other one, and been surprised when it arrived. And also, online shopping for me is a one-way fucking street. There is more chance of me fucking supporting Liverpool than ever returning anything that I bought. So when I buy stuff, I've got fucking pairs of trainers, right, that I've tried on and gone, oh, they don't fit. Let's just put them in a cupboard and fucking leave them there. It's not a good thing. I'm just saying it is a thing. Go back to these. Oh shit, where's that gone? Do I think they will get a left back in January? Huh? How's that a question? That can't be a question, can it? Stephen says, if I donated every time Maguire scans in the next game, what charity would I give the £2 to? Any updates on IRL Fest? The latest updates on IRL Fest, thanks for all the interest, by the way, as well. I do think we are going to sell out these 50 tickets that we've got in mind. I have got a poster for it. Can I put the poster up? Let me see. See if I can get this on screen. If I can find it. Is that the right one? No, I can't show this poster just yet. I do have a poster for it. We're not ready to sell tickets for it yet. The last sort of anything that I had was we've been trying to get a band. So the whole plan for the weekend is arrive on a Friday, campfire. We have got a site. I haven't booked it yet, but we have spoken to a site and they've got space for us. Want to arrive on a Friday, get around a campfire, have a barbecue, wake up early on a Saturday, go and do a big hike, possibly some survival or a talk. We've got a private tour of a mine, a live pod, campfire again with another barbecue. And I wanted a band, wanted an acoustic kind of band. But the band are currently quoting me like £2,000, which I think is far too fucking much because it'd be like 40 quid per head. And I wanted to be able to give some merch, like t-shirts, metal water bottles, flint and steels, that sort of stuff as part of the package. So the band is fucking me about at the moment because I wanted someone to just fucking give us a little bit of an atmosphere around a campfire, like. So I haven't sorted it yet. Adam says, will the IRL be Patreon only or will it be YouTube members as well? I'll do it across both. I'll put the link for YouTube members as well as Patreon members at the same time once it goes live. But there is only 50 spots and I think I can name about 20, 25 that I know for sure are already going to be on it. So it'll be quick. The weekend that I've got in mind is the 20th of June. So maybe keep that free in your diaries for now until we can do it. Notch says £2,000 for one performance. 45 minutes, brother. Which I'm like, right, that makes it the most expensive thing that we're doing like all weekend. Like we're putting a lot of things together. There's a private tour of a fucking mine. You've got people coming doing all sorts of stuff. The individual cost of that item is more than everything else. Ridiculous. So yeah. Alex says, don't need a band, just bring a guitar or a banjo and my best singing voice and lots of alcohol. I wanted a band. I wanted to make it feel a little bit fucking high-end in terms of the performance. But yeah, we won't be getting that band at £2,000. It's a shame because they were good, but thinking, fucking hell, man. Fucking £2,000. Can they play Wonderwall? They fucking better be playing Wonderwall, yeah. But yeah, fucking lunatics. Absolute lunatics. Stephen says, I can get you an acoustic band for travel cost. It's not Les Alanos, is it? But yeah, I mean, I wanted it to be able to sell tickets for it last month. So I absolutely want to be playing with that right here now. Notch says, folk band played a friend's garden for a birthday, 2 hours of covers and originals with PA, 500 quid. That's what I thought, ballpark kind of region. But yeah, we've asked 2 so far. 1,300 and 2 grand is what we've been quoted. You're like, I don't fucking think so. But yeah. Righty. It's my bedtime. So cheers everyone for coming and hanging out. Hope you've enjoyed the weekend. Hope you've had a successful time of doing whatever. If you're getting stuck in at the gym or whatever you're doing tomorrow, have at it. I will be mostly trying to get my fucking car fixed after the prop shaft disintegrated on Friday night on the way home from the match. At least it did it on the way home from the match, because if it had done it on the way to the match, I wouldn't have been able to go to the match. So that was a silver lining, I guess. But it does fuck me up for this week. I've got to do all sorts of fucking about, running about without a car. But it is what it is. Nice one, everyone, for tuning in. I'll catch you lot in the next one. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.